You are watching most informative YouTube channel The Explorer, and today we are going to watch world's most beautiful country, Qatar. Qatar, independent emirate on the west coast of the Persian Gulf. Occupying a small desert peninsula that extends northward from the larger Arabian Peninsula, it has been continuously but sparsely inhabited since prehistoric times. Following the rise of Islam, the region became subject to the Islamic Caliphate. It later was ruled by a number of local and foreign dynasties before falling under the control of the Al-Thani dynasty, in the 19th century. The Al-Thani sought British patronage against competing tribal groups and against the Ottoman Empire, which occupied the country in late 19th and early 20th centuries, and in exchange the United Kingdom controlled Qatar's foreign policy until the latter's independence in 1971. Thereafter, the monarchy continued to nurture close ties with Western powers as a central pillar of its national security. Qatar has one of the world's largest reserves of petroleum and natural gas and employs large numbers of foreign workers in its production process. Because of its oil wealth, the country's residents enjoy a high standard of living and a well-established system of social services. The capital is the eastern coastal city of Doha, Al-Dawa, which was once a center for pearling and is home to most of the country's inhabitants. Radiating inland from its handsome Corniche, or seaside boulevard, Doha blends pre-modern architecture with new office buildings, shopping malls, and apartment complexes. Qatar's traditions draw on a nomadic past and practices that are centuries old, from hand-woven products to falconry. However, the country's population is urban and coastal, its daily life is thoroughly modern, and its rulers have sought to enhance civil liberties. The press is among the freest in the region, and though they are religious and traditional, Qataris pride themselves on their tolerance for the cultures and beliefs of others. On the status of the country's large expatriate community, the ruling emir has noted that in Qatar, they find security and a dignified livelihood. Slightly smaller in area than the U.S. state of Connecticut, the Qatar Peninsula is about 100 miles, 160 kilometers, from north to south, 50 miles, 80 kilometers, from east to west, and is generally rectangular in shape. It shares a border with eastern Saudi Arabia, where the peninsula connects to the mainland and is north and west of the United Arab Emirates. The island country of Bahrain lies some 25 miles, 40 kilometers, northwest of Qatar. Most of Qatar's area is flat, low-lying desert, which rises from the east to a central limestone plateau. Hills rise to about 130 feet, 40 meters, along the western and northern coasts, and Abu al-Bal Hill, 335 feet, 103 meters, is the country's highest point. Qatar has more than 350 miles, 560 kilometers, of coastline. Its border with Saudi Arabia is some 37 miles, 60 kilometers, long. There are no permanent bodies of fresh water. Climate of Qatar. The climate is hot and humid from June to September, with daytime temperatures as high as 122 degrees Fahrenheit, 50 degrees Celsius. The spring and fall months, April, May, October, and November, are temperate, averaging about 63 degrees Fahrenheit, 17 degrees Celsius, and the winters are slightly cooler. Religion of Qatar. Islam is the official religion, and Qataris are largely Sunni Muslims. There is a small Shia minority. The ruling Al-Thani family adheres to the same Wahhabi interpretation of Islam as the rulers of Saudi Arabia, though not as strictly. Women, for example, have greater freedom in Qatar than in Saudi Arabia. The non-Qatari population has a more diverse religious makeup, with Muslims, Christians, and Hindus comprising the largest religious groups. Economy of Qatar. Qatar's economic prosperity is derived from the extraction and export of petroleum, discovered in 1939 and first produced in 1949, and natural gas. Before World War II, Qatar's population engaged in pearling, fishing, and some trade, with little exception the only occupations available, and was one of the poorest in the world. By the 1970s, however, native Qataris enjoyed one of the highest per capita incomes in the world, despite subsequent declines in income due to fluctuations in world oil prices. Qatar's original oil concession was granted to the Iraq Petroleum Company, IPC, a consortium of European and American firms. This and later concessions were nationalized in the 1970s. While state-owned Qatar Petroleum, formerly Qatar General Petroleum Corporation, oversees oil and gas operations, private corporations continue to play an important role as service companies. Welcome to Qatar. Qatar is one of the fastest-growing countries in the field of tourism. According to the World Tourism Rankings, more than 2.3 million international tourists visited Qatar in 2017. Qatar has become one of the most open countries in the Middle East due to its recent visa facilitation improvements, including allowing nationals of 88 countries to enter visa-free and free of charge. Qatar is a peninsular Arab country whose terrain comprises arid desert and a long Persian, Arab, Gulf shoreline of beaches and dunes. Also on the coast is the capital, Doha, known for its futuristic skyscrapers and other ultramodern architecture inspired by ancient Islamic design, such as the limestone Museum of Islamic Art. The museum sits on the city's Corniche waterfront promenade. Steeped in tradition Qatar, you can learn about the ancient pursuit of falconry, watch camels race across the desert and admire traditional dhows, wooden cargo boats, bobbing on the water. But the country is developing rapidly, with the capital Doha a world-class city in the making, thanks to its spectacular modern skyline, peerless Museum of Islamic Art, a fine and expansive traditional souk, and burgeoning arts and culinary scenes. On any given day you could sample a portfolio of sophisticated restaurants and then watch the sunset over sand dunes that seem to spring from a fairy tale. The city and its offerings are relatively untouched. It hasn't yet become a tourist hotspot. But should you choose to spend a couple of weeks in Qatar, you can expect glorious sunshine, luxurious accommodation and a plethora of adventurous activities out in the unique landscape around the main city. Qatari cuisine is made up of traditional Arab cuisine. Mishbas, a meal consisting of rice, meat, and vegetables, is the national dish in Qatar. Typically made with either lamb or chicken and is slow cooked to give it a depth of flavor. Seafood and dates are staple food items in the country.